Merry Meet, I'm Cindy with Corey Devotions. On this channel, I've been talking about my journey out of Christianity into witchcraft and paganism and all things spiritual. And this is kicking off a series on shadow work. This is intended as a breakdown for beginners to shadow work of what the concept means and how you can put it into practice. You don't have to practice magic or witchcraft to do shadow work. It did originally begin as a psychological practice and is still used that way today. Shadow work as a concept comes from the writings of a psychologist named Carl Jung, but you do not have to be familiar with his writings or his specific studies in order to do this practice. In fact, if you're somebody that has any trauma, I found his writings to be pretty triggering for me personally, so I wouldn't encourage people to go and read his books before starting something like this. Shadow work as it is known today is simply the process of uncovering shadows or pieces of your past self that lie hidden or that lie in your subconscious, and being able to bring those into the light of day to face them and process them in a healthy way. This can be an emotionally taxing process, so I want to say that from the beginning. Make sure if you're embarking on something like this that you're in a safe place. If you're in the midst of a traumatic or abusive situation, my advice from personal experience is to focus on getting yourself safe first, getting yourself out of that situation. Focus on healing once you're safe. I also want to leave a disclaimer that I am not a psychologist. I will be sharing some of the things that I talk to my psychologist about in our sessions, but I am in no way giving psychological advice. I do encourage everybody to embark on this practice, not only when you're feeling safe and you're in a safe situation, but also include your therapist in this process. I would explain to them what you're trying to get out of a process like this, not necessarily labeling it as shadow work, because there are actually multiple psychological systems and modalities that are focused on the same kind of outcome using a very similar process, and they go by different names. Your therapist might not fully understand what shadow work is, or they might equate it to a magical practice and disregard it. So when you're speaking with your therapist, just be very clear on what you're trying to achieve so that they can help you through these steps. As I said, shadow work is the process of pulling shadows, either versions of your past self that you haven't really dealt with or processed, or things that have happened to you, or even things that you've done that are lying in your subconscious, kind of affecting your day-to-day. Like, you know something is wrong, but you're not really sure where it comes from. This is done in stages, and it's something that's ongoing. Especially anyone with trauma is going to have this ongoing probably for the rest of their lives. There's no way to win at shadow work, just like there's really no way to win therapy. You're constantly growing, you're constantly changing, and things are always going to be uncovered that you didn't realize were there before. Every time you embark on a new stage of shadow work, this is going to be accomplished in 3 phases. Phase 1 is uncovering your shadows. Phase 2 is going to be processing them. And then phase 3 is recovery. Please don't skip the 3rd step. Please don't repeat steps 1 and 2 back to back constantly. You will become so burnt out and so emotionally drained, and you won't accomplish what you set out to accomplish. The recovery stage is important because after you've processed something really deep and something really heavy, you'll need time to figure out where this fits into your life today. You need to be able to pull yourself out of that past memory headspace and back into being grounded in the present, in your current reality. Step 1 of uncovering the shadows is typically where you see people bringing in divination. And some people mistakenly equate shadow work and divination as if they're interchangeable, or as if shadow work requires divination, and it doesn't. Any method that helps you to open up your subconscious so that you can face something that's hiding there is shadow work. Divination is a really easy method, and it's a go-to method for witches. It's a go-to method for me because I struggle with trusting my own mind already. That's part of my trauma. So for me to be able to hold up a mirror or like a Rorschach test almost, and pull memories or thoughts from what I'm seeing in the cards or what I'm seeing in the runes, that actually helps me to face those shadows. But not everybody is going to need that or want that. You can use meditation, you can use journaling, And so what I'm going to do in this series is take each of those methods of uncovering the shadows and put them into separate videos, so you don't have to watch the entire series. You can just skip to the videos that are relevant to you for how you want to practice this. Bug, say hi to the camera. No? Now you want to leave? For phase 2 of shadow work, this is really where your support system or your therapist is going to come into play and be really beneficial to you. Once you've uncovered something that is so deeply painful to you, processing that is really difficult to do in a vacuum sometimes. Sometimes. There are times when I prefer to process and go through something alone, but I still know that my support system is there backing me up should I need them. I'm still in a safe place where I can do that. You don't have to tell your support system what you're doing, but if you let them know, hey, I've been thinking about some really hurtful things from my past lately, I've been having a hard time processing them, I might need to call on you later. Might need to vent to you or ask you to give me some grace if I don't answer texts for a while, just so that your people know how they can support you. And the way that you process these things is going to vary just as much as the way that you uncovered them. Journaling works for processing for a lot of people. Some people need to process in a somatic way, so they might need like physical movements or exercise to help them process. You might need to embark on a new project or a hobby that you've been putting to the side that's going to help you to kind of get out of your headspace a little bit and focus on your healing and your well-being. I may do a couple of separate videos talking about each of those things as well. I'm honestly not quite sure yet. I'm kind of taking this a week at a time. But in the meantime, I would love to hear from you if you've been through this process before, or if you have been through a similar process, any way that you have been able to process some really heavy things. I would love to hear how you did that. What was the method that worked the best for you? I know this video is a little bit shorter than my videos typically are, but I just wanted to put a quick intro out there to this series and what I'm planning to do with it so that I can open the door for any feedback in the meantime, and I can base what I talk about in those videos in the series on what people actually want to hear and need to hear. I'll be posting the first video up on how to uncover shadows in just a few days, hopefully. So please leave your comments here in the meantime, and let's get a dialogue going about this because I think it's a really important topic and honestly something that has saved my life multiple times. Before I end the video, I want anyone still watching this to know that you are so valued and you are so loved. Even if it doesn't feel that you receive that love from other human beings, your existence in this world is an indicator that you belong in this world. Please take the steps necessary to keep yourself safe. And if you're in an unsafe situation, please reach out for support because you don't have to go through this alone and you can get out and things can get better. Also, just want to quickly say I have so much gratitude for everybody who has subscribed to this channel, everybody who's watched any of my videos. I am so thankful for the input that I've had from this small community that we've built together, and I really look forward to seeing where it goes in the future. So thank you so much for supporting this channel and for supporting each other in the comments on this channel and for keeping this place a safe space for us to grow together. If you haven't already, please subscribe to join this community, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Until then, be kind to yourself and be kind to others. Blessed be.